Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to another fun and interesting week. So this is a topic that many people like arguments like crazy, right? So I'm calling this right. The proper terminology is called the sunk cost fallacy, right? I'm calling it the sunk car fallacy because or yeah, the sunk car fallacy because literally your ship is sinking and you're trying to decide if it's worth salvaging. So I have six cars, right? I got a mixture of everything: Firebird, El Camino, 99 Civic, 95 Olds, 1990 Silverado, and 84 Monte Carlo SS. I got everything you could possibly think of, and I've owned almost everything you could possibly think of. So the master of disaster, whenever it comes to maintenance and everything, and I got receipts, documentation. I never throw anything away because I'm a borderline hoarder. So this is now what I like to call the sunk car fallacy. So I've done the paperwork and I went over everything today. So we're going to talk about the 1999 Honda Civic. So let's take a look, shall we? So I don't know if we're going to be able to see with the light, but this is a 1999 Honda Civic DX hatchback. Okay, purchase price back in 2016 was $2,000, clean, had 91,000 miles. Right, purchased at a dealership. I've owned it since 2016, and I've put I think 115,000 miles on it. So I put about like over 20,000 miles on it, and in that time, I've invested just in parts, not my labor. Because I don't price out my labor because I do that shit for free. So $975 invested in just parts in that amount of years. Now I have dailied it lots of the time, but in the other time I'm driving the El Camino, driving the Firebird, driving the Silverado, Oldsmobile, Monty, everything. So with me actively driving it, then not actively driving it, in those years I put $975 into it. So you imagine a car payment is going to cost you a minimal, for example, if you want to compare a 2019 Honda Civic to the 1999 Honda Civic, right? So the difference being is that a new Civic is going to be about 20 grand, right? And then after tax and everything, it's probably going to be 21, 22, and then they're going to try to upsell you a fucking warranty. And then the warranty, if you do choose to take it, is going to be between $1,800 to $2,000 if it's negotiable. Then you finance is like 4% if you get good credit. So if you're walking out of the door spending at least $350 a month, you do the math, you finance like, let's say 5 years, 6 years, whatever the fuck you want to finance. You do all that, and then you imagine that you're spending, all that years, you're spending over you're spending a ridiculous amount of money every single year, in that car. You have no maintenance. I understand lots of people don't know their way around the fucking, way around to the tools, and then they're not mechanically inclined. But if you are inclined, there is a way you can actually win when it comes to actually the difference between owning a new car and having a used car. To me, it makes more sense to have a used car because with a new car, you got the cost of financing. I mean, not the cost of financing, the cost of insurance. And then most cars nowadays, if they have any sort of performance package, needs premium gas, and that's regular gas, and it gets 40 miles per gallon. So, as a daily, it makes sense to me because it's like a little go-kart. But see, now if you have children, it's an entirely different story because that car is not rated that well in crash tests, especially for the driver. The driver, I believe, he breaks his legs or something like that. Or so, it depends on what position you're hit in. But I've heard stories from people like on forums and shit that said that if there's an accident, they actually have broken their legs, all depending on how hard they impacted